Good morning, beautiful people. In order to prepare yourself for sound, we must first be here. So do me a favor and take a deep breath through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Breathing and filling the belly through the nose. Put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Again, inhale with me. The breath is a wave. It comes into us from below. And it leaves us from the same direction. So when we inhale into our shoulders, we actually separate ourselves from our deepest connection to what is. So just breathe with me a few more times. Through the nose, mouth exhale. Through the nose again. Filling the belly as much as you can. And then hold with me. Inhale. Hold. And as you hold, relax everything that you are around the breath. Let things slip away from you. Releasing it all. Inhale again. And this time, hold the inhale for 15 seconds. Feel the pressure of the space, of the fullness. And then release again. What bonds us all is the breath. The breath is what we all share, no matter who you are, what time you lived, in any time of life. When we breathe deeply, with the tongue on the roof of our mouth, we can feel the center of ourselves more clear. That anxiety you think you have is just the shortness of your breath craving more deepness. Remember to breathe deep, slow, patiently. Thank you, Freddie and Don.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Now that we're ready to listen, I want you to remember a story. And the story lives in your body. It lives in your bones. Deep within your bones, there's a memory. That memory can be accessed if you slow everything down. I like to go to darkness In darkness, the truth is a little louder. Breathe with me into this. Long ago, we lived in the dark. Time was here, warmness all around. Hear nothing, you see nothing. This is all we know. For time and time and time and time and time. We spent lifetimes in the dark, unaware of anything outside of ourselves, infinitely merged with the void all around us, comforted in that void. Until one day, we heard a sound. Remember, let your bones remember. This sound, it called. You lifted with curiosity from what you knew towards this sound. This thing that was not you, that also lived in this dark space. You followed that sound, rising into new waters, coming closer to it, until you realized this sound organized the darkness, and you could sense your body, you could sense your ears, and there was something outside of you, within this darkness. And as you came closer to this vibration, you never wanted to leave it. It had brought something like magic to the infinite dark around you. Remember, above you.
Wow.
Let's come back.
Got to get
I'm
everyone
speechless.
out of that mindset back to your bell.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Sun is out. The tables were picked up, I hope.
We got Brooke and Rustin ETS in the house. I got to tell you, the bell, you always talk about how bells awaken energy and change energy, and there you have it. I was just talking to somebody the other day about these little finger bells, and in she brings them. But as always, the angels put everything in alignment today on our show. We've got Brooke and Rustin in the house with their amazing musical sounds and harmony and energy. We're going to get into that. And then we've got Wes in the house because we're going to talk about mindset for success with Carolina. And we've got some Wes juice to try. So it's all this alignment of energy and health and healing. And of course, no one else better than Ainley Lemelman of It All Starts With You. And I got a new friend I met at a networking event, talking about estate planning and all the things that you need to take care of.
We've got our music coordinator, Mr. Steve Melnick. He's now Mr. Melnick.
His name is Johnny. That too?
That too. What do they call him, Steve?
Yes.
I got
I know
Steve
you're
from
waiting
New
for
York
Steve
Sound
coming.
That's
I know.
why. He's on my head.
So you got a
over
lot
here
on the brain.
With Johnny Melnick in the house, which is always a pleasure to see. So we got all sorts of vibes going on today. And you see the background that they picked for them.
I love it. You guys like it?
Oh yeah, very much so.
It's nothing like we
It
actually
fits our name.
planned all this, but somehow it always works out the right way.
Now these segments that they do is you get into a trance. And it's funny because she told me that before they started. I went, okay, well, we have to chop it up a little bit. And then when she started, the crew says, we can't stop this now.
I have to ask that before we get into regular interviews and doing all like the normal things that we do. This show that you put together, they actually put this special show together, Freddie, for us. Because when they were here, they were getting ready to do this big event on that Saturday. And you said, can you put 30 minutes of your 90 minutes together? And Brooke said, we took everything we do and we put it in a little box for you into 30 minutes. And you
Tiny
said,
cauldron.
oh no, we can't do 30 minutes. Can you put it into an even smaller box? It's like the Russian dolls. So we're going to take your big box and we're going to go like this. And now we're going to do 3-minute increments. But how powerful are those 3 minutes? What is your vision behind your whole show and your presentation?
Well, we live in a time where we're a bit overstimulated, and a lot of my own little generation is kind of trapped in what I would call a schizophrenic state, where the attention span's a little slow and the breath is a little shallow. And me and Rustin escape into these musical realms surrounded by noisemakers of exotic sorts. And when we play, there is a pause in time and space, and we find it to be incredibly visceral and healthy and energy from the source. And so when we put these together, we just want to bring people who want to have a musical experience into a frame of mind where you're sober, but you're in a psychedelic space, where that meeting of ether and body kind of meld into almost an uncomfortable space where you're aware more of the frequency and the vibration that we emit instead of all this square logical decision making. Our minds are powerful processing units, and I think a lot of times we can get stuck in loops. So to create a pocket of time where we're kind of sucking them into another world, hence our theatrical costumes, we want to create the space that this is not normal, and we want to travel somewhere where everything can slow down and everything that lives within you can speak more clearly.
You know, it's interesting because, and Johnny I know can vouch for me, and Steve Will in the house from New York Sound can vouch for me. Tina Turner
Just passed away.
just passed away. And she started her career in the 50s, 58. And then in the 60s and 70s, and the 70s and the 80s was a time when this kind of music was plentiful. You had Woodstock and everything else. And society always called people like this a hippie because they didn't know what was going on. They didn't understand the vibes of music. They didn't understand just how deep it gets. And I look at our new friend over
Wes
here.
Saunders, yeah.
And he's all involved in this thing. But the amazing thing about all of this is that I'm looking at 1974 in front of me. And everything you're describing, and the bells and the sounds, my brother used to talk to me about trying to explain where he was at with music. You know, and when you play all these throwbacks, it brings me there. But all of a sudden, my brother's here, and he's explaining it to me again, which is amazing. And the psychedelic stuff that they're putting behind
Nice
them,
backdrop.
it's kind of creepy for me,
Really?
because it's like deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra would say.
Everything's just a little bit of an illusion, Freddie.
Well, I got to tell you, it's amazing to hear today in 2023 what you're playing and what I'm looking at the same time, because I went through this with him. He did go to Woodstock. He played with Santana. He did all of that stuff. And he tried to get me to understand what you just explained. And now that I'm older, it makes sense.
But for me, it gives pause, because you can't possibly think about something else while you're sitting here listening to your music. Your brain does not allow those two ideas to come together. You can we always talk, you can either have fear or faith. You can't have them together. You can't be in this world of technology and be immersed in your music at the same time. The brain doesn't work. I actually have to put my phone down. You actually got off the set. Because however you've put this sound and music together, you've captivated everybody. So I'm listening to you, and then I'm listening to Wes breathe over here, which to me is so amazing, because as soon as you started, you evoked that emotion that you asked for. So it's been it's spectacular what you have put together.
And it affected everybody. I wanted to ask Wes, how you felt. I mean, I sort of understand
Wes Juice?
where you are, but tell people a little bit about where you come from, because you were in the NFL, and the NFL is a violent game, and they're trying to slow it down. You saw the new rules that came out, because it's too violent now, and the players have gotten too big. And you know, Wes ain't no 5-foot guy, and he's a big guy. So how did I'll take him on. Yeah, run the other way. Hey Wes, and I want to know, how did you feel, being that this is what you do now?
Well, it's been a violent sport, Freddie. You know, that's what we've all known. And of course, I took things the hard route. You know, several injuries, addiction to opioids, because that's what they prescribe when you're colliding with other grown men for 60 minutes on the field. You know, and so this health and wellness and thinking spiritually and breath work is non-existent in the NFL. So you know, it's a privilege to be accessing this kind of information right now. You know, I love the garb. I love everything about you guys' performance. I co-hosted a wellness retreat in Egypt back in November, and you look very similar to a lot of the people we saw out there. And you know, but the energy is real. You know, and being able to understand how we can control and conduct our own energy with breath and with food and with fasting, it's amazing.
And have you changed from your NFL days completely, your whole life, to what you're doing today?
Absolutely, from top to bottom. You know, from the health standpoint, you know, I was eating cheeseburgers and hot dogs before the game, and thinking that I needed to eat more to get more energy. But you can usually get more energy by not eating, by withholding yourself from things like that. And of course, you know, I'm not banging my head up against other humans for an extended period of time. So you know, that's another thing. But also trying to get my teammates and colleagues to understand what's going on with themselves, because you know, a lot of people are suffering from a lack of knowledge of self, and that's what we need to start to uplift. And it can happen through the music and through the frequencies, and so that's what I love to hear.
I mean, and you were a professional athlete, right? I mean, those teams, they pay a lot of money to have doctors around you and to make sure you eat the foods that they want you, because they want you bigger, faster, they want you mean, they want you lean. So you were a professional athlete. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on
This
here.
Wes Juice, which you haven't
Yeah.
tried. You want to try it?
That's the all-natural superfood green West Juice, a brainchild of myself
It's hot
and
too.
Dr. Charlie Ware, who's my co-founder. But like you said, a lot of people don't know about the health aspect of things, and so you know, we eat. You know, I like how you like it, Freddie. What's your honest
I'll take it
reaction?
back.
My sinuses drained.
That's the ginger. You added ginger to it.
I did add ginger, yes. So before
Where
the
did he
powder.
go? Where is he?
Yeah, there you go. That's
Wow.
that's what it's supposed to do.
What a kick.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, you know, and I've been having allergy problems. This is unbelievable.
Yes.
This is 2 tablespoons?
One
One?
tablespoon. Yeah, that's a day's worth of. That's why it's not so big. You know, we don't have any added preservatives or sugars in there. But gut health, I often say the gut is the second brain. And so, you know, what you're putting in your stomach is directly correlated to what you're thinking or how you're thinking. And a lot of times people don't take that into consideration. And so, you know, my doctor, Dr. Charlie Ware, who's the co-founder of West Juice, helped me handpick 14 of those superfood ingredients that are built to help us last, vitality, energy, right? Clean out our gut. It's okay to have a steak and, you know, some cheese sticks every once in a while and, you know, whatever we like to indulge in, but we have to get rid of that stuff equally on the opposite side, right? And oftentimes water alone just doesn't do the trick, right? So we need to amp it up. You know, it's all about balance. That's what we like to teach.
And now, so you have one of these in the morning, one at night, you were telling me.
Actually, you can't overdose on that stuff, so all through the day, depending
Well,
on how I'm
it's going to
feeling.
clear your gut.
There you go. It's going to clear you
So you
out.
may want to start slow. We've got
Yeah.
one bathroom. Just
There you
saying.
go.
We
If
got
I have
plenty
all
of
of you,
trees.
if I have
plenty
all of
trees.
you clearing your gut at one time, we're gonna.
This,
thing.
we play this.
I didn't
and have
expect it
that
to be
music?
to taste like that,
It's all hand in hand.
but it's really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it all goes hand in hand.
You guys just sat through a ceremony and didn't even know it.
Right? Gut health, drinking.
It
right
happened
things,
to you.
cleaning your gut.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, when you have
You took my
music,
tea.
when you have music, yeah, you want it back?
No, I get more.
When you had, no, it's okay, yeah, I'll share. It's good. When you have music, it changes the taste of things that you eat. You know, and my good friend Steve from New York Sound, I asked him to come today, and I did it on purpose, because I got to get you back to that level where we knew each other back in the day, and everything was good, because Steve was been going through some physical stuff as well, and we're very happy that he's here. But some of this stuff that he's talking about, it works, man. You know, I came from my doctor today, and I lowered my A1C from 8.9 to 7. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because of water like this. And it's because of support like this. And at home, and that room and that next room, because everybody here looks out for each other. Because it does all start with you, you're right. And we're going to get to you as well. But it's important that you believe the process does work. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
And it works. And this is just another one of those things that you can do. And that's another one of those things that you can do. And if you get in your own head, because it didn't take me 5 minutes to get sick, it took a lifetime. So to get healing, which has taken me a year, is a miracle.
Now here we're going to change that because you're not sick anymore.
Well, not yet. We're almost
Now
there.
you are
almost
onto
there.
a path to better health,
because
right? We
I-
don't put that
Good
out.
correction.
But because I believe in it. And the magical thing is that when you started to play, and I wanted to cut this stuff into segments, the kids in this says to me, no, you can't stop this. And they're right. Because just like you can take an aspirin for a headache, or you could take this to take care of your gut health, music is the opener to all of this stuff. And I didn't really understand all of this until a couple of years ago, because you know how sick I got. You were there. And it was scary. And today they explained to me what happened to me 5 years ago, which I did not understand. So you don't always get a solution to drinking this stuff in the first day. But you keep at it, and you watch what happens. Everybody wants to look like this guy over here.
I know.
I mean, he was a professional athlete, but that his playing days are now finished, correct?
Not officially, but you know, this guy didn't always look like this either. I used to be a little over 300 pounds. I suffered
what I'm
from
saying,
I
really.
suffered from several health issues that were unrelated to football and more related to my diet. So you know, there's a lot of people playing professional sports in spite of their diet, in spite of the bad decisions that they're making on a daily basis. So you know, that was my energy, was trying to bring people. What Carolina said, you know, some people don't know what they don't know, and so you think you're doing the best for yourself, but we can be doing a lot better. And unfortunately, you know, we've got so many aspirins and so many quick fixes that people aren't willing to do the real work that it takes, like you, Freddie, to really do it the
Well,
right
you got
way.
to do it. You got to do it. You got to get off the meds. You got to do it, you know. And sometimes you can walk a mile, and you turn around and says, I could do another one. your music, do you have it in a player somewhere that it can be heard? Because you just get into this thing, man, you lose track of time.
Yeah, it's weird because music kind of puts you in this timeless moment where, I mean, you're painting the air. You don't know where it went, literally like before and after, but you're experiencing it. So you do lose track of time, and I think that's the point with, good music at least. But
Our website, ETS Music, has stuff on
music?
it. ETS Music, we have a website now.
Okay,
hooray.
perfect.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back,
More music?
more music, more everything. Stay tuned. More West Juice. I'll make my own
I
cup.
think you're going to have to make your own.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
The easiest way to sell your home is to call the number on your screen right now. We'll buy any home in any condition. And the more it's worth, the more you can get. Plus, no real estate fees or commissions means more money in your pocket. And no fix-up costs either. Sell any home in any condition, sometimes within days. Sell your home fast. Call right now for absolutely free information.
Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty rich and pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-836-8663.
Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Coming back to your breath, inhaling through the nose, and exhale. Coming back into the darkness. Two more. Exhale all of your breath, letting that wave all the way out of you. Inhale deeply and hold. Filling everything within you. Enjoying the pressure. Hold it and relax. Relax your jaw. Putting the tongue on the roof of your mouth. We're gonna remember. Called by the sound, I left the only home I knew. Then up there I saw the breaker of the darkness. After lifetimes in darkness, I saw a star, a piercing vibration that separated darkness. So I rose to it with the sound towards the light. Called by the curious inside of me. I swam closer. We swam closer. Remember. Ooh, remember. With your ancient eye, a story inside your bones from the other lifetime. And as I rose towards the light, the water rushed away from me, and I felt emptiness all around. This new emptiness. And my breath had its first bit of air. And all around was new. The water half on me in its enveloping warm embrace. The nothingness of air entering my lungs. And above us, we saw the stars for the first time. The first light that broke the dark. Who are you? And what am I? And where are we? Within this grand design.
People are saying slow down Thursday.
Wow.
Kind of mellow you out.
It's good though. It makes you it's not even mellow, it just makes you take a pause. And
I
say,
got
you know
I got
what?
my tea. Everything's good.
I know. He's loving that. Do we have anyone on the floor? Can you guys turn the lights on for me, please?
Who do we introduce us to?
I want
Rita?
to go. That was incredible. Stay with us. We got more music coming, more time to reflect on what's going on in life as we roll into summer. But a few weeks ago, I went to a networking event with Teddy at Congregation B'nai CBI, right? Congregation B'nai Israel. And we went around the room, there's just a handful of us, and I got to meet, I'm going to try to pronounce your name, Robert Fraxidis. Oh, that's good. Was that close?
Robert what?
Fraxidis. Do you have a mic, Robert?
Talking to them. You can
take it out of the stand. Fraxidis.
Fraxidis?
Fraxidis, yep.
Is that what is that?
You know, that's over from Spain. Most people guess Greek, which
I
is
thought
a good
it was
guess,
Greek.
but-
Are you Spanish? Cultura español?
Some fraction, I'm sure. My
It's a fraction, Fraxidis.
some
a fraction.
fraction, yeah. My grandfather was from Barcelona, but they came over with my father when he was 10 to Cuba. Explosive economic growth and that sort of thing. But then they had to dodge communism, so came to U.S. And
So you speak Spanish?
So, wait. I
Un
was
poquito.
hoping you wouldn't ask. I was hoping.
Do you? Yes? No, un poquito?
No, because I mean, I can get by, but
Really? You're the Zeta man. You're the man with the corazón, not corazón.
sí, pero tú sabes, my dad didn't really speak it growing up, in the house, so that's my excuse.
It's all right. I asked him where he was from, and he tells me Georgia.
Georgia.
Is that right? That's what you told me.
Me?
You.
Oh, from Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah,
Because he
close
has a
enough,
little
I
bit of an
guess.
accent,
You
but
need
yet
more
I need
tea.
more tea. But it was not like anywhere exotic. It was right here.
There's nothing wrong with Georgia. It's very exotic. Sorry.
Not like Spain
right
or
to
Cuba.
What?
Not like Spain or Cuba.
Well, Spain, Cuba is super exotic.
But Robert does estate planning. He's with Block and Scarpa down in Fort Lauderdale on Las Olas. And I know you're running their Florida division, South Florida division.
That's
And
right.
I said to him, I go, who is your ideal client? And he said, and he gave me an answer. And I said, no, pretty much everyone. Because remember, Wayne used to tell us, the only thing you know guaranteed in life, unfortunately,
Is death.
is death. Because taxes is optional for some people, apparently. But death is it, right? And unfortunately, when that happens, you want to make sure your loved ones have everything that you want protected for them. And that is where you come into play. From estate planning to putting everything together for families and finances, from little ones all the way up.
That's right, and it's the last thing anyone wants to think about, obviously, death and dying and planning for that. But for most people, you know, if you have any wealth at all and loved ones, then yeah, you want to talk to someone like me to get that organized, because it's not advisable to do that sort of thing solo. It can get complicated both on the planning side and the probate side. After someone has passed away and it's going through the court system, it's really good to have an advocate there. So yeah, I fill that space.
Now, how long have you been in Florida?
Well, Florida, my whole life. I went to school even up in Gainesville.
Okay. So you're not new to Florida?
So yeah.
The reason I mention that is because she's talking about death, and you know, we are entering the political stage in Florida. There's going to be bodies all over the place.
I hope not really. I hope you mean metaphorically.
I mean, there's going to be more heart attacks and people when DeSantis and Trump go at it than you've ever seen in your life. So now would be the time to get these professionals in play. But all kidding aside, you know, my father did not have a financial planner, and I am still living the sins of not preparing correctly. And what you don't know can hurt you a whole lot more than anything else. And it's wise to get a financial planner. Get your paperwork in order. And I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, or 50. Get somebody who knows what they're doing and get it done, because you never know what can happen tomorrow. It's just the most craziest things. I mean, you know about my nephew, Harry Anthony, passed away. He was 38. He didn't have his stuff in order. So it becomes a huge problem. So I'm surprised that he agreed to be on this Knucklehead show with us.
Why surprise?
Why surprise? I think it's a good opportunity because listen, everyone needs what he's got. Even if you don't have the finances that you're protecting, right? Even if you don't have that nest egg because you're not ready to share that nest egg, you're in your 20s and you have kids. You want to make sure there's guardianships protected for your kids. Even if you're 18 and you're in college, if you study abroad for the summer, you need to make sure that your parents have the ability, heaven forbid something happens, to access those medical records when you're studying abroad. So it's not just financial planning, it's getting those documents in place so people have access to the information. And that's why I think your target audience is everybody.
Yeah.
Because I know when my kids studied abroad, they went to UF, and our friend said, but you need all these documents in place for them because heaven forbid, you need to be able to access it because now they're legally 18, 21. No one has to share this information because you say, hi, I'm mom and dad on the phone.
Yes.
You know, as people travel for the summer and you leave your kids even with grandma and grandpa, or the kids go to sleepaway camp, mom and dad go, I'm going away. Make sure your kids have guardianship papers.
Yeah, you're bringing back memories. Actually, as a younger attorney, I remember a client, and he was very young. He was like 23, I think. He came in with his parents. He had suffered a stroke, and you don't expect that in your early 20s, and nobody did. And that was a problem because he was in to do a power of attorney so that he could appoint an agent, and we weren't able to help him because he didn't have capacity to sign the document. So I'm sorry, he didn't have capacity to sign the document. So it is just an example of why it's so good to plan.
You know, and then I look at my parents and don't worry, we got all our documents in place. We did them 15 years ago. I'm like, okay, let's relook at them. No one wants to have that conversation. You never want to have that conversation.
Right.
But you'd rather have the conversation now than, unfortunately, when the doctors are saying, what are your parents' wishes in the hospital? You don't know. And I look at you, Steve-O, because I'm sure you never expected to be in the hospital as long as you did.
Financial planning has turned into financial thinking. You got to think.
9 months of just really not knowing what's happening. And you guys know I got 5 children, 2 grandkids. I didn't have nothing.
You had nothing in place, right? Has it changed your perspective?
And I was going to ask that the current state of affairs, we're after COVID, because when COVID was around, everybody was scattered around saying, what the hell am I going to do? Wait a minute. And then you have kids, and you got grandkids, and you got this, and you got that, and you didn't plan. And no financial planner is going to come see you. He'll look at you on the phone or something, maybe to put something in place. But has the terrain changed? Have people become more aware just how valuable life can be?
Well, I'd like to think so. I do think it has driven at least a bit of an uptick in estate planning. Let's face it, that made us all face mortality. And so I do see some of that spilling over. And it's good to have the opportunity to help because that just illustrates what you were saying about, you'd like to think the cards will be the same every day that you wake up, but maybe not. Maybe something big's going to happen and you won't be able to see your, financial planner, attorney, that sort of thing. So.
Now, I was going to ask, because financial planners, when you have seniors at home, like my father was 80, he wouldn't give me the keys to his truck until he ran it into a ditch. But when they're 80s, then you're talking to the caregivers, right? You're working with the caregivers to try to understand that whole
Well, it's like when your dad passed, did he have an estate, his will, and his trust in place?
No.
That's what Robert would have put in place.
None of that. But the point I'm trying to get to is that, sometimes you can't talk to seniors because they're at this stage of fight or flight and they're going to hold on to everything they hold on to and nobody's going to tell them what to do, especially the kids and yada, yada, yada. So you have to work with the kids to try to sort of backdoor what needs to get done for the parents, correct?
Well, that's correct, unfortunately, and I try to preach, let's avoid that situation. Let's avoid planning when we're 80-something. I think, well, as a general principle, the sooner the better, but I think that aside, the sweet spot is probably between 50 and 70. You still have your faculties, God willing, and you don't have people whispering in your ear. That is the most common occurrence. If there's a lot of money at stake, even a little bit of money sometimes, and you start to go downhill, then suddenly you got a lot of voices in your head telling you what to do, and that might not necessarily be what you want.
Because you want to avoid probate. And I know tax laws have changed, and that's what, like $12 million now before you or certain taxes. And I don't think a lot of us are in that tax bracket. So that's changed. So we're looking more at really just making sure our kids, people get what you need to get. We don't really, unless you're at that 12.2 or whatever it is, that's different. What are people looking at now for estate planning? What's like your bread and butter?
Well, I always advise that the power of attorney and the designation of a healthcare surrogate, living will are extreme. Everyone needs to have that, because that is in anticipation of some sort of decline, which is, a common way to go.
So Steve, I'm going to ask you, power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, did you put all that together since you got sick?
Mm-hmm. Well, especially working at the bank and stuff, so it was a lot easier to put
and
it
it's
together.
tough. You got 5 kids, and you have to go. But
Yeah.
it's not that it's
Well, my
fairness. It's who's
grandkids
got
getting
your
everything.
best interests at heart.
Yeah. Actually, my oldest daughter is the one that really started pushing me because she's like, Dad, they don't want to deal with arguments and fighting and all that stuff, so.
No.
Well, you remember I told you the story with Wayne and Freddie. I went to Sunday dinner, and they had made all my plans to cremate me. Remember that? I said, I'm sorry, what? Cremate that? You're cremating who, me? You ain't cremating me. And we got into this whole big argument, and that's how I met Wayne. And we used to have fun with that because, because sometimes kids want to just get rid of you, put you in the closet, and worry about that
Remember
later.
they want to take Uncle Arthur out of the closet?
Yeah.
You know, they say cremation is up 76%
Good for them. Good for
over
them.
conventional burial.
Yeah.
Good for
Well,
them.
because now, back in the day, and Freddie, this, the Catholic Church didn't approve of.
That's right.
Cremation, and now it's like free game. Me, on a personal level, I'm not there, so I don't care what they do with me.
Now,
they
you
can
don't
do
know
whatever they
that.
want, so.
You don't know that. Listen, there was a time we used to party, have a good time. We didn't care. We never thought we were going to get sick. We were invincible. So now you're going to tell me the same thing? They can do whatever they want. I'm not there. You are there. You may not be moving and grooving, or maybe you are. You don't know. But you want to be in control of that. And this is the man to see to put those paperwork
Got to
together.
get your paperwork in place. Wes?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on that. This is a very vital conversation to have. I'm 34 years old, but I've already, got my estate and things in place. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers because they host a monthly call with former players, and we get on Zoom and we have an expert speak on certain things that we may be dealing with. And last month or 2 months ago was estate planning, and I'm not so sure if some of you are familiar with Franco Harris, the running back from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Hall of Fame running back who passed away in December. Didn't have his estate in order, so his wife came on to talk to us about all of these Super Bowl memorabilia that was worth millions of dollars that was unaccounted for because he hadn't put it in his will or in his trust. So, it can cause a lot of problems down the line.
Can you imagine all of that going into probate?
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Franco Harris, Mike.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
You have a mic?
Somewhere.
Somewhere? See, you never, I always say it, the angels always, I told you, the angels always align a conversation, even when you don't know.
So are you guys going through probate right now?
Yes, I am going through probate currently. My probate lawyer is right across the street from here, which is really weird. So I just dropped off documents. It's like really funny. But almost everything that's going on here in the studio today is like somehow pertains to what stuff we have going on, which is odd and awesome. But yeah, you don't want to be in probate. It's not fun. I tried to get power of attorney. It wasn't happening at that point. Mom was already gone, mentally, unfortunately, at that point. And yeah, it's not been fun.
Yeah, and I bet you can attest to this.
Absolutely.
To this point that I'm going to make is that the money, the amount of money and such is one thing,
right.
But the time that is wasted, or that a beneficiary is like, well, I'm going to get this, but wow, it's going to be a year or two. That's a big deal, to
It's been over a year, yeah, for sure.
And what it does to you emotionally and the anxiety. And you know in your heart it's nothing your mother would have ever wanted for you.
Correct. If she only knew.
Right.
But it's okay, you know.
Right.
Well, you know, I'm going to have to go to probate because my father left nothing. And we are under Spanish law in Puerto Rico. The Spanish law, which means that it's me, my sister, and my deceased brother that inherit the stuff, right? But because he's deceased, it goes to his son, or his wife at the time goes to his son, and now he's deceased. So now I have to deal with all the kids of his family to bring it forward. And we didn't even start this thing. And the process to do this in Puerto Rico is absurd. Everything there is different from here. I couldn't even get my father's bank account stuff done because they needed a passport. And then when I got the passport, they needed another piece because they wanted me to get something from Puerto Rico, and I didn't have anything from there. So it can get really, really complicated. And just when I thought that I was at the promised land, they changed the law again. So I got to start again, all over again. And the money that you spend and the time, Dad died, what, 4 years ago? I'm still doing this dance. It's the worst thing. I mean, it's probably going to outlive me, and it's going to be my kids' situation. So I'm going to have 12 people involved in a Can you imagine having 11 people around you making decisions? And everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own agenda. Not everybody's going to think like you. And then it gets really complex.
That's how you realize there's no age on this. You're 34, and Steelers are like, you guys got to put everything in place. And you're not currently playing, but you have the benefits of it. And now here you are having to deal with your mom in probate and everything in between that you have to deal with. So I thank you for all that you do and all the lives that you help and you touch, because it's not just Mom or Wes, it's their entire family, right? It's your entire family. It's you, it's media, it's your kids, future kids, everything trickling down the line.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, I think, with having a large family, because they can help you with things, but then also, like you said, you know, they all have their own agenda. Hopefully not, but you never know.
Oh, we all see how people act when money's involved.
Yep.
That's the
right?
problem.
So.
That's the problem. You see,
Bingo.
when it's all nicey nice, everybody's nice.
Until they want that inheritance.
Until they want to put you in the grave as, you know, they want to cremate you.
Or Mom
Everything
and Dad
gets erased.
have an estate, and Mom and Dad didn't allocate who gets what, and then the kids have to figure it out.
You see, my father, I told my father, Dad, give everything to Harry, give it to Mimi. And today I tell my sister, you can have everything. She says to me, why are you being so nice? I said, why? Look at the headaches. So I have the headache. I said, honey, you can have it all. All of it. All the land, all the house, all yours. You want me to give you my here? Yours. And she says, oh, no. This is too easy. We in this together.
It's like, I'm just going to dig a hole, put myself in it, and burn the house down, and it'll be fine for everyone. It's no problem.
Pipe in some music.
But, you know, if you know somebody, and the trust factor is enormous. You got to know somebody you trust. You know, I met my doctor, who they always shift on me every so often in the months at the clinic. He's going to be opening his own practice. I'm going with him.
Yep.
There's nothing like consistency and continuity. And if you meet somebody and you trust them, you got to go to broke with that. You got to stay in touch with that. Something that works in your health, because this really works on your head, man. It takes away the energy from your head.
But once you put it in place, you know you're in place, and it's one thing you don't have to deal with consistently. I think it's peace of mind is what you're dealing with.
That's a nice moment when we're done, like me and a client are done planning. I say, okay, you're good now. And they're like, oh, okay.
It's
I
like,
can go
right?
Sleep and
Even
not-
though you don't realize you've got that emotional weight, once it's off your plate, you just feel a little bit lighter, right? You can do something else. How do people get in touch with you, Robert?
And people can go
Best
to
way?
blockscarpa.com. They can email me at rfraxedas@blockscarpa.com. I might need you to recite the number there. But,
I got you. Which office you want?
And I'd say to do the Vero Beach office.
But you also, you're working Fort Lauderdale, there's Orlando,
I
and
do.
Stewart offices.
I do. That's the Vero Beach is the headquarters, like the.
All right,
the
so check out their website, more information. We'll get you everything. Thank you so much. You know how you always say it doesn't matter how many eyes? I think you asked Eileen this. If you could have a room that 100,000 people saw you, or one what do you want? And she goes, 100,000.
I picked the one.
I
'cause
was at a
that's the one that
networking event.
buys.
There were 6 of us, and Teddy and I were 2 of the 6. And here Robert sits. So
I have a quick tip. This is something I found to be true. If someone says it's not about the money, it is 100% about the money, without fail, no exceptions.
all right, Robert, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining us. I'll get you all the information. You can go to Block, BLOCK, Scarpa, SCARPA.com and check it out, or just give us a call right here at the studio and we'll get you the information. Take a commercial break. When we come back, some more music, Eileen, we got a whole lot of people to talk to.
I think we should keep going and then take a break.
Why?
Let's do another segment. Because I just get a feel that the clock is going to slip away from us.
Okay.
You got Eileen, you got Steve, you got Johnny.
All right.
You got Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, and then take a break to maybe 1:30, and then we'll go to 1:30 and then take a break.
Okay.
No? Or yes?
No. We're going to take a commercial break. More to come. We'll be right back.
Makes me sick.
Say France. Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Brand new shows, only on AMP2 TV. We have All-in-One Insurance, Latin Hustle con Karen, Meta Magazine Show, Pitch 2 Production, The Florida Love Show, The Sixth Borough, Meet the Experts, Reinvented Life, Lights in the Night, and The Hangout. Tune in so you don't miss these amazing new shows. Only on AMP2 TV.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. That's 800-259-1328.
Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
Don't call a plumber, don't call an electrician. Call right now and for as low as $1 a day. Many things that run your house are covered with thousands of technicians all over America. You can call us with a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, and we'll be in your home in no time at all with a solution to fix it. You don't need an expensive repair bill and you don't need to buy new expensive appliances. We'll show you how to fix it for about $1 a day.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Breathe with me. Inhaling through the nose. Tongue on the roof of the mouth. Letting the exhales leave you like waves. 5 more. Stay here. Hold. Relax that jaw. Surrender your thoughts in the hold. Woo!
I love the bells. I'm going to get them.
I'll get you some for Christmas. No, you're not going to do that. Because that'd drive me nuts. All day. Freddie.
Freddie. I'm going to get little tambourines on my fingers so I can just go like this all day. Call to attention.
And I'm going to get a big drum.
I love those.
You got drums, right? Yeah, I'm going to need that.
I love the whole space. They're holding this whole open space for everyone today. So I have to talk to Eileen. Eileen, welcome back to season 2 of It All Starts With You.
Thank you. It All Starts With You 2.0.
2.0. We're going to be starting next season, June 6th, right
June
here
6th.
on Tuesday nights.
Relaunching, yes. I love the music because it really just presences us all, puts us in the moment, really connects to the mindfulness that I really always preach, always talk about, being mindful, having intention. It really just brings you back to the earth and to the, to that white light that comes through you, and I love it. Yeah.
This music is special. Tell us about your show. What's on the agenda?
So my show is by and mainly for women, and I always say some enlightened men, and mainly midlife women, women who are really searching, not necessarily the why, because that was the last show. This show is not what is my why, but what is my who. Okay, who am I? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to connect with? Who do I want to get my message to? So it's really about the who. And, keeping our dreams alive. I want my show to really encourage and to inspire and to educate women to really say, may all your dreams come true at any age, at any time. And that's really what my whole message is. I'm a psychotherapist. I've been in private practice for over 35 years. And, we're talking about COVID, how it changed everyone's life. It gave me the time and space to really connect and say, I have done the one-to-one, and I know I help a lot, but I want to help more. So I want to do the one-to-many, and I want people to really know that they can have access to healing, to helping themselves, to finding ways to encourage themselves to move forward in their own life. And so, I also want to bring joy to people's lives, because I think that's what we lost a lot during COVID. We forgot how to play. We forgot how to have joy. We forgot how to connect. And that's the show also, is come be part of my community. Let's connect. Let's have fun. Let's laugh. Let's heal. And let's join together as sisters.
And I think the balance has changed. I don't know. But I think people are now playing catch up on working to do what they want to do. But friends from your past when you weren't working or things were different, they still want to hold on to that. But you're here and they're here. And it's finding that balance, that flow of what you need to do and how you need to do it. Texting is, I think, okay, because sometimes that's all we have time to do. Is it the effort? Is that what's important of the connection?
I really think that you have to be intentional about connection, because we can get lost in our own world. We can get lost in a busy life. We can get lost in technology. We can get lost in our family. So it has to be intentional. And I think, you make this commitment to yourself to connect to somebody each and every day, because there are people in my practice that don't connect to anybody, and they're lonely and they're lost and they're isolated and they're reclusive. And then they ask me, why am I depressed? Yeah, because you're alone. You're not reaching out. You're not connecting. I think you have to make a commitment to yourself to connect to at least one person a day. And I really like the voice, and of course I like the face even more, because I think the texting is a great, way to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, and people like that. But I think when you hear a voice or when you see a face, it connects to a part of the brain that you can't with texting.
Well, it's nice to have you back in the family, back in the fold of networking.
Thank you.
Josh, this light went out. This went on. Carolina.
I think it's amazing
This light
because
went out.
after 35 years, you absorb that which you work in. A little bit of them enters and becomes a little bit of you. It's just the nature of the beast. It's like anything else. So if you're in an environment where that's happening and there's healing happening and you're helping people, sometimes that weight gets transferred on to you. I know when I was with the cops, with the auxiliaries in the regular police department, that's one of the problems that happens. You begin to become part of your environment. What I'm amazed at is that you're able now to teach women that it's okay. It starts with you. Let's get you healthy. Because you matter. You do become aware of yourself. Some of the things that I've learned in my journey is, and I'm not a woman, but a guy, is that my weaknesses were bigger than my strengths. So that's why I became a diabetic, because I gave in to all of the bad stuff that I shouldn't have, because I didn't think I was worth.
We're talking about self-love, right? How are we going to love ourselves? And, one way is, of course, being mindful and intentional about how we want to nourish ourselves. And I don't only mean with food. With you use food maybe as a way to medicate yourself or to numb yourself or to escape from whatever it is you were feeling. But how else are we going to nourish ourselves? How else are we going to nourish our mind, body, and soul? We have to nourish ourselves with healthy things. That's part of self-love.
And it's important.
And toxic people, you're talking about being around toxic people, that's a drainer. That is a drainer. And you have every right to say, no, I don't want you in my life. You're not healthy for me. I need to nourish myself with really healthy people.
Yeah, but when you do that, that changes the whole cascade of events. Because there are people that were important to your life for whatever reason at some point, and then you say, this just doesn't work anymore. And then there's the ripple effect, right? Maybe your kids were friends, but so now maybe they're not friends anymore. Or maybe your life partner and you are not in alignment anymore. But then there's children and there's grandchildren. There's things that you share. It's not as easy as it is when you're 20 to say, you know what, this doesn't work. You hurt for some time, but then you go on.
Yeah, but we're talking about, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to prioritize yourself. You can prioritize yourself, and actually you don't have any obligation and you have no shoulds about who you want to allow in your world, in your sphere, in your life. And yes, it could affect other people, absolutely, but everybody is going to have to work it out. As women, we worry about everyone and we take care of everyone's needs, and we worry about if I say something, if I don't really express myself, or if I do express myself, it's going to affect their relationship. So I better just keep quiet. That's really lethal. That's where it starts.
It's lethal.
Lethal. Because what happens is you start pushing down those feelings. You suppress it. You don't have a voice. And guess what? You've created a whole fertile ground for anxiety and depression.
That's right.
And then you don't breathe, and that's when I got to listen to the two of you. When everyone says to me, you're not breathing. I know I'm not breathing. I know I'm holding my breath half the day, right? Because you can't say so many things. And then Brooke's like, you got to breathe. And then we had Zelda in, you got to breathe.
But you got to.
And Tracy says to me, you got to breathe.
But you have to remember what got you there. Exactly what she said.
We all stuff it down.
You got to stop the stuffing. It's really funny because sometimes you hurt people's feelings when you tell them the truth, and sometimes you gotta be brave. You take accountability for yourself and say, I gotta take care of me.
That's right.
Because if I can't do this, then this ain't gonna work anyway. It's just gonna be more toxic, and then you know, ever notice how bad stuff spreads? It's like ridiculous.
It's like mold.
You could destroy a professional football team with just one bad seed in there, and it just gets
that's
worse.
why-
I've seen it happen several times.
And why
And it gets worse
mindset's
and
so
worse,
important,
right?
right?
And you put in all this work and all this. I remember playing with guys on teams when I was playing ball, and I didn't even want to be in that room because I wasn't in the right place, and I didn't want to bring them down. And no, we got to stick together. And they try to keep it together because you want to be a team. But if you're not mindset there about yourself, how the hell are you going to care about anybody else? And then that other effect where women want to take care of the world. Some women want to save the whales and the dolphins and the birds, and then people too.
And we don't leave anyone out.
And you get guilty when you don't.
Yes.
You live
But
in
you
guilt.
know when you get into an environment because you have to, and you know when you are in a social situation and you say, well, I really shouldn't say anything because, you know, my kids or my family or my mom, you know what ends up happening is either you end up having an argument, getting angry, right? You don't know where it's coming from. Or, you know, you make excuses about not seeing the person. And either way, it's not taking care of yourself. It's not prioritizing yourself. This is, you know, we're talking about boundaries, healthy boundaries.
Do you believe in that word yet?
I have to. But I gotta tell you, the other flip side of this thing is Latina women. Latin women, Carolina, I'm gonna come right to you, so pick up your mic. Latin women are so different. They want to save those that want to be saved and then save them some more. And my mother was one where I would give mom and say, Mom, here's some money for you. I want you to get this. And she used to take the money and she used to hand it out in front of me to her sisters, her brother, I don't know, Pachito down the street, right in front of me. I said, Mom, what are you doing? She says, Freddie, you got to move it forward. I said, but this is for you. I can take it. No, I have to do it. So Latino women are unlike anything I've ever met in my life when it comes to what she's talking
She's
about.
shaking her head and smiling, yes.
It's true.
We
That's
are all
why.
about giving, and sometimes we forget about we need to give ourselves first. But it's true.
And what is the name of your show?
The name of my show is Mindset for Success. On Tuesdays is in Spanish, Mentalidad para el Éxito, and on Thursdays is in English.
And G-Man is editing your show, and he doesn't speak a word of Spanish, but he's learning.
Yeah,
he's learning.
He's just drinking Wes's tea at the moment. He's all in his whole mindset. Look at him. He's
But I
loving it.
had him do it because I want him to understand that if you can overcome the language barrier, you can overcome anything, because language barriers make you shrink. You know, we talked to our friends over at J&D Cakes. And J&D Cakes, I highly recommend, if you need cakes, J&D Cakes is the best.
Right on
And
Dixie and Palmetto.
That's where?
Dixie and Palmetto.
And she is going to work with us because we want to help her get along. She's been a friend of the show since we started 7 years ago. And she says to me, my English is not very good, not very sexy. And I said, it doesn't matter. But that's right. So la excusa done. We're taking out the excuses of people coming forward, because now we do things in English and in Spanish.
So we're going to send Carolina and Ryan and maybe Dylan over there after today's show.
So we go 5 days a week now. And then Eddie, if Eddie joins us as well, we're going to have the male-female version. Because I love it when it's the guys tell me, no, I can't talk to a female. And my English ain't good. There's all these excuses. So I don't want any more excuses. I want to get rid of the excuses, because it does start with you. And I've always told you I love that name. And I got to tell you a little secret. I know that you do it for women, but there's a whole bunch of guys listening too. A whole bunch of us.
Hear that.
Really, 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 because we got to live with them women. You know what I'm saying?
I got to expand my horizon.
I mean, we got to
be more inclusive. Isn't that a key word today?
It's true, because, you know, we've talked so much for women that we want equality, right? And we want to be shared and communication and partnership. And I think we are doing a very good job as a society of doing that. So now we need to continue to be inclusive of men, because, right, we didn't like being excluded. And they're coming along on our journey, and it's not easy to change everyone's mindset at once.
Women have left us in the dust when it comes to this healing process. So what you said, Freddie,
Yeah.
I'm very much a proponent of duality, bringing the two together.
Yeah.
Because, you know, guys can get together. There could be 50 guys in a room and no one will speak on their issues or what's bothering them or what makes them sad. We'll talk about sports. We'll talk about anything else.
True
But
that.
women will come together and, you know, start to heal, right? There might be some tears shed, but there's growth there. So I think, you know, we need some more lessons on that and being more vulnerable in these kind of spaces.
Now, there's
All right,
personal
maybe you'll come on my
conversations.
show and talk about that.
There's the personal like you and I were talking in the room about some things that women don't have these conversations because I think it's just me. But men have the same situations, right? And men will never, I don't think men will be in a restaurant with a cigar discussing physical things or what happens as you age.
All the time.
All
the time.
Yeah.
If my sister was here, my sister, forget about it. She put me on blast instantly, and she'll call me out instantly. And my sister will be walking over here and says, "Let me tell you something about my brother." You
Your
know how
sister's
Mimi
a little
is.
quiet though.
Nah, she's quiet because she doesn't know the land, the lay of the land. But you keep Mimi in here a week, and you're gonna see the trueness. And the funny thing is that she loves to shrink me down to size. So I start going, Mimi, shut up. What's the matter? And she will tell you stories.
No, Diane will tell me more.
No, Diane, forget about that. She's right off the boat. She'll tell. But these are people that I grew up with, and they've seen me mature and everything else. But men, I've learned, because I've had women in my family, more women than men, you better respect the game. Because if you don't, they're going to come back and hurt you a whole lot more. So you may be serving women, but I gotta tell you, there's a lot of guys that talk to me about seeing their show because they're learning how to approach the ladies. And Latino men, man, they better catch up quick because Latino men are a whole lot more stubborn. But that's beginning to change. That game, even my son, Freddie, is beginning to change because the game has changed. You know, women begin to be a little bit more powerful and more vocal and saying,
Oh my gosh, I was watching your daughter-in-law's story. So he's got two little grandsons, 5 and 3.
Yep.
And the 3-year-old, he's like, he should play football. He takes a chair, throws it across the room at the 5-year-old. And the tag was, who's gonna cry first? And they ran around, and all I could think of was your two boys running around, throwing furniture at each other in their house. Like, holy cow, is that really a thing?
They do it now. They do it now.
This was yesterday.
They do it now.
Unbelievable.
And it's funny because they got their own language.
That's why children are, when you're young, you have children.
No,
not when you're-
Brecken is from outer space. I don't know what the hell this kid, he throws things. And when I went to his party and I sat next to him, he looks at me, he says, Pop, why are you sitting in my seat? I said, it's a bench, we both fit. No, you gotta move.
He picked it up and threw it across the room.
He would have picked me up.
In every video, this kid's throwing furniture.
Well, what is wrong with this kid?
We're gonna have Wes train him. Maybe he should go out for football. I don't know.
I gotta tell you. But nonetheless, we are part of what you're trying to grow. The show, first time around, was a good teacher. I'm dying to see what you're gonna be doing in the second one. I think it was important.
And mindset's important, and everything that you're doing, Carolina, has leveled everything up.
It has. It has opened the floodgates, actually.
I'd say a lot of times, though, men within their peer groups, like if you're doing something stupid, your friend's going to tell you about yourself, basically. And I see a lot of times, not to play devil's advocate, but like, and a lot of women will be like, oh yeah, go out with that guy. I would never go out with that guy, but you go for it. You do it, you know? So I don't know. I mean, hopefully we can all come together and heal, you know, separately and together.
Well, Josh tells us all the
harmony.
time he's got different friend groups. And some friend groups, he doesn't want to be a part of those friend groups anymore because they're just not the right people to be hanging out with like they were in high school.
They're not resonant. I feel like everything you guys are saying is all about resonant patterns, how one player can mess up a whole team, how women come together and they can harmonize and release. And I look forward to when men and women can get together and start to harmonize in that resonant pattern where everything is kind of coming from the bottom up, where we kind of feel like we're more in touch with, you know, the field of life force together,
Which is
you
what
know,
you
where
guys
it's
are
not
doing.
toxic. We're creating one outlet for it, you know, like when we get into the darkness, dead people come and talk to us and they're like, sing this. So we have one little modality in our little section of the universe, but it takes all of us to make a healthy ecosystem.
But you know, the funny thing is that we don't understand women. So a woman says, I want a glass of water. And you, shut up. and you bring a glass of water. And it says, you don't understand me. I don't want a glass of water. You told me you wanted a glass of water. This is White Man Can't Jump.
It's like I told her I won't sit in the back, and I was sitting back there.
And she says, bring me this. So I bring it. You don't understand me. That's not what I want.
What's the sub-communication, though? It's like, I'm thirsty. Maybe not water, but like I need to feel like I have something that, flows through my body. Like,
We're all
that's
learning
good
to
for me.
communicate better.
But you
know?
see, I get I'm thirsty. That would open up what would you like. I got that. But when you tell me you want water, I bring you water. And I saw the movie all over again. I said,
Well,
you're nuts.
Remember when you were saying that women can kind of like hold and submerge their feelings differently? I
Yes.
think in a lot of cases, a lot of women are still learning the language of themselves, because when people have children so young, it's no longer about you. It's about all of these other moving hurricanes of energy around you
But then
and
how
keeping
does a
them
guy
docile.
understand all of these subplots and movements? I mean, it's like
This is our job. This
You
is the
gotta
art
immerse
form
yourself.
of life.
I would say
know?
you got to immerse yourself with, a lot of guys get uncomfortable around large crowds of women. And I like to tell people the best thing that happened to me growing up was being too big to play football for my age. So it's 5 years old, I started gymnastics class. And I was the only boy in gymnastics. And it really taught me, how to harmonize with women like girls, right? How to treat people and talk to them. And I'm like, well, they're not really so much different than us. But I started to understand little subtle nuances that other
programs.
guys didn't understand. And they still don't understand to this day. So I think that was one thing that got me a leg up.
Actions speak louder than words, I think. No matter what, a woman might say, you have to observe and see what she is really asking for, rather than just like, this, and like you're saying, like, I want water, but is it water? Or?
Yeah, but then we have to understand what they say. I'm listening to that word over and over again.
Right.
And sometimes we don't, and we make mistakes. And sometimes we
Everyone
make
makes
mistakes.
It goes both ways.
No, but sometimes a mistake gets done again and again, and you begin to sound and feel really, really small because you keep doing the same mistake over and over again.
But it's not just men. Women are the same.
No, I'm talking
as
about
well.
men and women relationships, trying to understand them a little.
So we got to just bring the water before she asked for it, and it's just your decision. And she's like, "Oh, great, he's leading." Like,
No, I walk in and I go,
It's like, you want to go to commercial break? I think we should. No.
We're all learning how to communicate better. And in, I think, almost every case, we've all learned really bad methods of communication. And I think we even lack some words to describe the feelings. I tell him all the time, I'm like, how's your energy? And I do it to his son as well. And that mental check-in with self, I think, is sometimes I find myself getting really crabby, and he'll be like, what's happening? And I'm like, I think I need a nap.
I just bring kombucha and a chocolate bar, and it's fine.
But
So-
it's a self-awareness, and our crew, I think it was G-Man. We're gonna finish and let them play, and we'll go out on that. They're telling me commercial break. I think you and G-Man said people have a lack of self-awareness, and I don't know whether it's a lack of your awareness in space, if it's not understanding how you impact other people. Maybe it's
holding
low
your breath.
self-esteem because that's a whole lot of things. And you keep touching on that. And Josh, I keep looking at you and G-Mix. I don't remember who said it to me. But it's just understanding where you are in space affects a lot of people.
do you know the banana syndrome? You ever seen it? I saw it on Facebook the other day. I hadn't seen it in years.
No.
So a ripe banana, the doctor says, he's looking at the mirror, and the banana is ripe. It has the spots and stuff. It's turning black. And he's looking at a picture of the banana. He says, you don't look the same. He says, oh, that picture was from last week. And I think that what happens is that people aren't the same every day. And things happen to you today that's going to affect you tomorrow, yet we're not there yet. So you can't, it's not a perfect science. It's just not. And women change, men change. Women have that stuff that goes on, that changes them. Guys have stuff that goes on. I found that out when you turn 61, things happen. And all of a sudden, you're making changes on the fly. And you know how hard it is to make relationships work on the fly? I mean, you got two planes going like this. So it ain't gonna be perfect.
Communication.
Now, before we go to commercial break, I'll
I
even
think
pass
what
it.
we're going to do, we won't commercial, we'll
Hold
wrap
on.
up.
But I want to talk to the boys because we have an announcement to make over there in the corner. with the two guys.
You've all relaxed him so much. We're letting you guys hold this relaxation space.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
like-
disturb you.
They zenned me out. I don't know what's going on.
I didn't want to disturb you.
Between
'cause
the
you look
tea
so
and everything.
The tea and music, they're just like hanging out.
But we're going to be making an announcement soon. We're going to be asking people who want to sing. Well, why don't you make the announcement?
Yeah, so as we all love and adore, we have we're gonna start our own little Voice American Idol show throughout Palm Beach County. So that being said, if you got what it takes, or you think you got what it takes, we're gonna be sending out some more information on Freddie's page and Dawn's page. Where it's going to be, we have certain locations as far as Honey and the Hive and boat campers that we are going to be traveling, and we're going to have people perform and until we get down to the finals, and then we are probably going to be using the movie theater for the finale. So I think it's going to be a fun summer. So, you know, it's a great way to come back, and of course I love working with you guys, and that's where we're going.
And for those that don't know, Steve is the voice on our show that does the opens and the close. He's the guy from Brooklyn, you know. He has that
Just
voice.
a coincidence.
A coincidence.
Coincidental.
Coincidental. Wow.
Remember that one?
So real quick, that story. So Dawn writes my script, and it just so happens to be a word that I just couldn't pronounce. She's
And
like,
he winged it.
it's a coincidental thing.
But we appreciate everything you do.
No, and
and
I
I'm glad you're
appreciate you
feeling
guys.
better, and
I really appreciate you guys.
To a better year.
And Johnny Melnick is going to be part of what we're doing as well. Johnny is going to be running a lot of our musical stuff that we're doing, musical coordinator, and what we're doing with new artists. We're looking for new artists. We're going to maybe have a 3-year and under group and a 3-year and over group, because we want everybody to have a fair chance. You know, JC has to be in the 3-year and over group if she wants to join this thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Johnny plays the piano. He plays 107 instruments. Is that what you play?
I didn't even know there was 107 instruments.
That's every guitar string. And he sings
Well,
all
I
the
play
songs.
108. How about that?
number came out of the air. It came out of the air.
Johnny, how many instruments do you play?
Not that many. It's keyboard based. You know, things around. Play
Anything with a
Play
keyboard.
some guitar. Listen, I love music. You know, you give me a tuba, I'll get something out of it. You know. That's just the way it is. Just
Yeah,
make
he's a-
music. I'm like I like to think of myself as a bird in a tree. Just
Big
singing the
bird in a
song,
tree.
man. Just singing the song.
Singing the song.
We'll see what comes out.
He's
Rockin'
he's
Robin over here.
He's phenomenal. I love when we do sets with him and we challenge him. Do you know this song? Do you know that song? I love it. I love it.
And
It's
he
fun.
does it.
And he does it. He's good at it. But more news to come as we get more of the information together. I wanted the boys to
Yes.
meet each other
Perfect.
and to listen to the band.
And before we wrap it up, I have to ask Wes, because you've made a total change in life. You went from hamburgers and hot dogs and football to living a healthy, clean lifestyle and motivational speaker. You work with children, foundations, and giving back. What changed for you? What was the pivotal? Was it one pivotal something, or?
Me getting in trouble, actually. I got suspended twice in the National Football League for substance abuse. I was going through a hard time at age 24, and so 12 games total, about $350,000 worth of fines. And of course, you know, the young fans out there wondering why Wes is not in the game, you know, answering these questions about stupid stuff off the field made me look incompetent, made me look, you know, not the kind of person I wanted to be representing myself. So I wanted to control my story. And one of my favorite quotes is that, you know, once you ruin your reputation, you can live quite freely. And a lot of people are so worried about their reputation and their perception, who's going to think what. You know, once you get in trouble and your name is on ESPN for bad stuff, then you can really tap into who you are, right? How do I want to treat people? How do I want to be perceived? So that's when I really took my health into my own hands. Also, not wanting to take anything that I couldn't pronounce the ingredients. You know, something as simple as that was really part of my journey. And, of course, my parents. You know, I want to see my parents grow old And hypertension and high blood pressure runs rampant in our community. And so, you know, we got to put a stop to it. Far too often we say, hey, such and such runs in our family, but it can end with you. And a lot of people need to understand that, and I wanted to be a beacon of hope for that.
I love that story because I wanted to ask you last week when you were here, because I know people will say, well, what changed? How did he go from this to that? And there's the answer.
Usually catastrophe brings you to a new
But
place.
that's because you changed your mindset. People in catastrophe can stay in catastrophe. And
For
they
life.
could have, right? And they could have ended up in addiction issues, and you could have gone a whole other path, but you chose to take a different path. So that was your choice and your mindset.
And and you're helping others
Yeah.
look for the light, find the path. That's the part that I'm just amazed. You didn't have to do that.
Right, you could have gone the other way.
No, he could have been for himself
for
and
him.
just move away, but then now
And I
he's
could have blamed
sure.
everybody else for my problems, right? A lot of that's the easy part. Hey, it was, you know, mom and, you know, dad
Yeah,
didn't
but people
hug
do
me
that
enough.
all the time. So I thank you for doing what you do, and I know when your other half comes back, we're going to talk more about that foundation that you're all working with, because that's
Absolutely.
a whole nother story.
Yes,
And
yes.
again, Carolina, great guest.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us, yeah.
It has been a pleasure. People want to know where they can get your West Juice.
Where can you get the West Juice? At Wesley.com. I guarantee you've never met anybody spell their name like me. WESLYE.com. Everything's on
He
there.
added an E. Where did you get the
ginger?
The ginger.
It's
I made the ginger myself. Yeah, so
it's not in here. You added that.
yeah, I added that. So
Well,
we
we're gonna have to have a
we
little-
also offer a cold press option
We're gonna
that
have to have
contains
a little
ginger.
bag of ginger on the side, buddy, because I'm gonna tell you, it cleared up my sinuses.
There you go.
We can
My
get some
God.
cold press.
It's clearing up some other stuff you don't even know about right
I
now
bet
too.
it is. Watch out now.
We're here a long day. Hold off on the tea. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us, Robert and Eileen, the boys in the back. How do you like that? The boys in the back.
The boys in the back.
Carolina, Wes, and Russ and Brooke. Thank you so much. We're going to have you guys take us out for the end of our show. More to come. We're here all day, all night tonight. We have great shows lined up for you. We've got Editor's Desk. We've got You and Your Doctor with All County. We've got Making Money with Laura Sanders. And then the incredible J.C. Dreesen at 7:30. Have a great afternoon, everyone. More to come. And we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
We are enter the Stargate because that's what we're all doing with each choice we make. We choose the Stargate of that choice. We can be victims. We can sabotage our opportunities. Or we can choose to be the champion of each decision, calling in all that we are, knowing that we are eternal, unfolding in time. These are your choices. Your life is your Stargate. You see, your breath is your resonant pattern. The breath that you either hold shallowly within your body or carry deep within you like an eternal wave is everything that life is. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.